Right. So thank you, Kelly, for joining me. You've just taken, I'll let you share the result. So you've just taken your ADI part 3 first attempt. And yeah, how did it go?
I'm delighted and dumbfounded to say that I passed. I was not expecting it. And yeah, with the score of 41, I was just delighted. I couldn't have wished for better, really. I mean, an A is awesome, no doubt. But yeah, no, that was just dreaming for me. So yeah, I was really pleased.
No, it's really good. And so do you mind sort of sharing sort of your journey, like
Mm.
the training that you took and yeah, just in your own words, how it's all gone for you, really?
Started way back in August 22, taking the theory, flew through that first time. This was all with a national school, incidentally. So I was guided with some coursework and had to submit Q&A, all this sort of thing. So that got out the way. And then when it came to my part 2,
Yeah.
you, Howard, were the trainer. I didn't know then how lucky I was. I just thought, oh, here's the guy that's going to be in car with
They
me.
got in touch. They needed a trainer, so I was happy to yeah, so yeah, I can help with that.
Really good. I think we hit it off straight away. It was 2-1, wasn't it? They were delivered with someone else. Not
Yeah,
all of
so
them.
that's
Mm.
it. Yeah, your provider like does the shared training, don't they? So
Mhm.
yeah, so yeah, so you had we that worked all right though, didn't it? I think.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah. And
did it? I
no,
don't
no, it
know.
did, yeah. But I went on and had more hours with you, lots more, because I was shocked at how poor I was. I thought I knew it all, much like most full license holders. I'd had a competition license. I thought no one could touch me, but no, it was poor. So yeah, I invested more time and money just getting it right, only to fail first attempt. Gutted. So yeah, went for a second attempt 2 months later and passed, and then of course straight on to part 3. And again, you were the trainer, provided for the 40 hours. So yeah, that was delivered 2-1 as well. And I don't know, there seems to be a bit of fear about 2-1 training. Oh, you're going to get all the attention. I actually think that being able to observe a peer, someone who's also learning, is quite valuable. You can watch from afar, pick up on things that you might do differently, or even glean some insight about how you can do stuff a bit better as well. So I was quite happy with that.
And we'd
um,
also bring each of you in, whoever's in the back seat, we'd bring you in to give some feedback, and so
yeah.
that was good skill development, wasn't it? So you can, yeah, it's good. It's just when you're in the hot seat, the instructor seat, it's all going on, isn't it? When you can just sit and watch, you can think, I can see, you can sort of see the wood for the trees.
Mm.
That's because I obviously sit in the back of a lot of classes, and it's yeah, you're able just to have a think and get your thoughts together and think, yeah, I can see where this is going, or I would do this or that. So it's quite helpful, isn't it?
I said that was 40 hours. That wasn't how long it was at all, was it? Not the part 3 in-car training. It wasn't that long. Yeah.
Yeah, I
So
can't remember how you're provided.
no, it was
Did it?
structured
Sometimes
differently.
they include some of your online because I
That's right. Online virtual classrooms.
classrooms Q&A sessions, which they counted as your towards your 40, I believe.
Yeah. Yeah, that is right. I have got a note of it somewhere.
Yeah, yeah, I don't think you got the full 40 in car. It was a bit of
No,
a
no. It was good though. I enjoyed it. And at that point, I mistakenly assumed that I'd be okay now. That's it. I've had Howard playing the pupil, and what a fine job of it you do as well. I don't know. Yeah, you're really good at that. So I struck out on my own. I started teach. I bought myself a car, got it all jeweled up, dash cam, started teaching for free, thinking, yeah, I'm just going to put in for my test. It was due in September. I started in June doing this free teaching. And come September, all my learners kind of slipped off the plate a little bit. They were there 1 minute and then gone the next. And I was thinking, oh, this ain't good. It must be me. They're all just jumping ship. And that's when I got on the phone to you and said, oh, Howard, I've made a terrible mistake. I can't do it alone. Please help me. And you were kind enough to take me under your wing and get me signed up to how to drive. And what a difference that made. So yeah, once I was on Pink, I felt like I had much more support and a bit more, what's the right way to say it? I just felt more invested, I think. And honestly, a financial commitment doesn't hurt with that. It does make you knuckle down, you know. So yeah, I was fed pupils straight away and I kind of got on with it. And on your advice, you'd said, yeah, you know, get your first attempt in 4 months. So when I phoned up, I did it by phone and I said, look, I know go and hold is what's required here, but can I just ensure that you don't call me until 4 months has gone by? And they said, yeah, no problem. So they kind of blocked out those 4 months. And sure enough, 4 months to the day was my part 3. So that worked brilliantly. In terms of what I did off my own bat, it was a lot. I put a lot into this. So this is my training and reflective log. I don't know if you can see that.
Yeah.
This is everything that I did between starting Pink and finishing. We're talking residential courses, Zoom meetings. I attended all those conferences. I just didn't let up, really. Facebook groups, most of which I binned off, I got to say. A lot of it is a little bit negative and a bit toxic. There seems to be a lot of, oh, don't get me started. I binned them off in the end. It was a little bit too much. And I just became a bit obsessed about it, really, I think. And this is where it all turns a bit sour for me. Come December, I think I got to some sort of burnout stage. My family were worried about me. I wasn't sleeping. I looked dreadful. And I just kind of came to this realization that I'd overdone it a little bit. I mean, I would never say don't work hard, because I think if you don't do that, you won't get out of this what you're expecting at all. It's not easy at all. But yeah, I really think I overdid it. So come December, I put a stop to it all. No more Zooms, no more residential courses, none of it. I switched all of the Facebook off and just left it and thought, no, I got a bit obsessed about these 17 competencies, thinking that if I could just drill it and memorize it, that was going to solve everything. No. I had to sort of rethink it and think, no, this is about delivering a good lesson. And it should be, every lesson should be like this. So I kind of shifted my mindset a little bit and felt a whole lot better for it.
Going to jump in, I know I spoke to the examiner, who does the part 3s, and you got up and met him.
Oh yeah, that's right. Another of your PDIs had a meeting with him, and you kindly let me know that was going on, and they were happy for me to tag along.
Yeah, well, just to give you the background, that I met the examiner that we've got here is new in post, and I met him. He's very approachable, and he said, if you got anyone looking for a part 3 that wants to come up and meet me and just sort of calm the nerves a bit, I'm happy to do that. So Emma had arranged that, and then we spoke, and I said, just tag along, both of you go. And I haven't really spoke to you too much about how that went. So was it helpful?
Oh yeah, just to allay your fears, you know, because I don't know, it might have had something to do with the previous examiner, you know, less said. But yeah, they're kind of this mysterious being, aren't they? You know, and you're desperate to please. So yeah, that was really good. What a nice fella, you know, completely normal, very approachable, as you said. He was willing to answer any question put at him, and he was just really good at putting you at ease. You know, please don't think this is anything other than me observing you delivering a lesson. It's what you should be doing all the time. Yeah, that helped a lot. I can't remember when that was, but yeah, nice fellow. And yeah, I knew that I was going to be meeting him on the day, so that was another thing out the way. Yeah, really, really worthwhile. So if you ever get offered the chance to go and meet him, do. Nice fellow.
So yeah, sorry to interrupt. So you did that,
That's
and
right. Mm.
so yeah. So should we jump to the day, the day?
Yeah.
And, yeah. In your, how did that go?
I
Obviously,
was, I
well.
was, I was doing all right in the run up because I'd sort of got into this relaxed state about it, only to find the night before I didn't get a wink of sleep at all. Nothing, nada. Just lying there thinking, oh, I couldn't, my mind wouldn't switch off. So I felt dreadful when the alarm finally went off and I was waiting for it.
Because you had an
It
early
was
test in the half 8 test.
8:30, yeah, and I live kind of in the middle of Dereham, Fakenham, and Swaffham. So I was leaving the house at 6:30, having thoroughly defrosted the car. It was a really icy day, but lovely and clear, dry. That was the main thing. So yeah, left here at 6:30, picked up my learner at 7, and that's an hour and a half to get to Norwich from Dereham. That was over egging it a little bit, but I'm a bit allergic to being late and got every contingencies. So yeah, we sat up once we got to Broadham Business Park and just chatted away.
And
And
your pupil
honestly,
was I mean, I'd sat in and watched what a couple of lessons with you
that's
do with her
right.
in preparation for your test. I
Yeah,
know you
she'd
did a
been
bit
on
of,
2 of the additional training sessions. Yeah.
I know I'd seen her, and yeah, she's very good choice of people.
Star
Reliable. She got up at
pupil.
7 for you,
I
or
know.
left the house at 7.
She was the only one that was willing to do it. And not only was she willing, she was happy to do it as well. She wanted me to do well. And she was, you know, giving it, oh, you're going to be great, you know. And honestly, she's been awesome. She's a very attentive learner. She's a little bit older, sort of early 20s. And yeah, she takes a very measured approach to everything. So I can't overestimate how valuable it was having her next to me. Really, she's really very good. So yeah, I understand how people fret about the choice of pupil, and I can totally get that because I sort of relied on her being her a lot, really. So yeah, we got there on time.
And she was near test standard, isn't she? She's what? She's got a test in 3 weeks, was it?
March the 8th, yeah. So she'd had 24 hours when we arrived for the part 3. And oh, I must mention, Howard, that like a week or so prior to the test, it may even have been 2 weeks, I got in touch with you and we spoke about what needed to be covered in her upcoming lessons. And I asked you for a bit of help with a route where I could build in certain traffic situations. You sorted that for me. And I ran it through with a couple of pupils, actually. I never got the chance, as it goes. We ran out of time. But I'd also, on a day off on my own, been up and done the route at the test time as well, just so I could get a handle on what the traffic might be like and how much play I would have in the timing. It's
Yeah,
45 minutes, isn't it?
as I recall, you were asking me for something that would challenge a,
Mm,
a test standard pupil, and I was thinking, like because there was the busy road works on.
mm.
I think you thought about going to the Hearts roundabout, and you because you don't get into Norwich that much. I'm saying don't go that way. It's out of action. And then I think I was suggesting you were looking for roundabouts. No, sorry, traffic lights turning right. So I
That's right.
kind of
Mhm.
said, well, there's a couple there, but then there'd be some double mini roundabouts. And then you thought, oh yeah, that would probably stump her a little bit. So rather than like a prescribed route, because I just
Mm.
want to say that because some people might think, oh, plan a route and go around, which is definitely not what we want to do. It's just
No.
an area
Yeah.
that would include some challenges for a pupil at this stage. So a lot of what that route is, that was a little loop of part of a test route because they know that's going to cause. You got them a multi-lane roundabout on there where they got to turn right, challenging, and yeah. So that's I was glad I was able to help with some challenging bits.
It was really good. And
Yeah.
to go around beforehand to pick out potential places for pulling in if they were necessary. And
Yeah.
yeah, and I then looked at incorporating the joining the dual carriageway from the lay-by, which
Yes.
I could find nothing about how that might be approached or anything, but it was a worthwhile exercise because we went through why would you need to do that and it went from, you know, warning signs on the dash right through to needing to make a phone call. We brought in the legal aspect of it. So there was a short bit of Q&A on that. And it was challenging because as she exited the lay-by, she was hit with a roundabout where we needed to get in the right lane, and we had a change of speed limit. So there was a lot going on, and that really did stretch her skills, knowledge and understanding about using a dual carriageway. The rest of it she had down pat, but I had to put something in to sort of
stretch her.
Yeah, stretch it. Yeah, bit of value. So yeah, that was good. We still had time left over, so we concentrated on right turns at roundabouts. She would be on the roundabout and then be asking, "Where am I going?"
Oh,
So
yeah.
yeah, so we went through a little method just for counting off the exits as you go. When you get to the penultimate one, that's when you need to start doing stuff. And I don't know, I think it was only about 4 of those. And again, had it locked in. Yeah, felt loads better about it. And she was very generous with her feedback as well. When something felt good, she'd say it. And it was like, oh, what a gift. I didn't have to drag it out of her at all. She was there saying, oh, this is great. This feels better. I know what I'm doing now. Yes, amazing. So yeah, she did a lot of the work for me. You know, she took a lot of the pressure off. So yeah, got back on time on the button. Brilliant. Wrapped it up. And Brad said, you know, I'm off now to do my notes. See you in 10 minutes, kind of thing. And there you were in the car park, and I virtually fell out of the door. You said, how'd you get on? I'm like, no idea. I haven't slept. I don't know what happened. But yeah, delighted, just really good. And so pleased that all of the extra work and extra hours, effort, money, all of it has paid off.
Yeah. And so when Bradley, he obviously give you the result, give you the good news and the feedback, and his feedback, he's very good at giving feedback. He said, things I'm going to say now are, they're not negative. These are the things to get the A. So anything I'm saying, that's why I didn't give you an A today. And yeah, so can you recall, I know it's all a blur at the end, but can you recall what could you have done to get that A? So you only just needed 2 points more, and what he described, I think, would have given you another 4.
So it was letting her go. Yeah, I kept her held back for too long. So the specific instance was she'd been suffering a lot with being able to identify changing speed limits, and I would have to either say, "What's the speed limit here?" or "Eyes up," which is like, "Look, I'm asking you for something. Give it to me." And she'd come straight back. But yeah, what I should have done is just sat back and not said anything and just looked to see if she was taking it in. You can do that without opening your mouth, really, you know, just watch how the speed behaves. And I didn't do that. So frustrating, isn't it, now in hindsight?
I think it's okay initially, early on in the lesson. That's what she needs, being proactive, giving her. He's referred to the last little bit where you were in the lay-by, and so she had to get out of onto the dual carriageway, and in a short distance onto a 70 road, short distance get to the right lane, then there was a 40. And so because that's at the end of the lesson, you kind of give her a heads up, so just be careful, there's a 40 there. And he said, no, I wouldn't have done that.
Yeah.
You know, at that point of the lesson where she's should be taking on more responsibility, well, you could have given that as a challenge and sort of say that, you know, so you're happy to get out, we're going to be turning right at that roundabout, what are you going to do with your, you know, whatever you discuss, I don't know what they're getting your speed up and all that, and then kind of let her learn that, let her get out and 40, you know, see what she does and just keep her safe. Whereas he was a bit worried in terms of the risk that because you said that, and if she went out into lane 2,
Mm.
yeah, who's going to slow down for the 40? And he said, I would worry that if someone was coming up fast, that she's just going to do 40 in lane 2 after moving out. And that could have been a bit, it didn't happen, but he said he was a bit worried. And do you remember what he said about the, he said, I was nearly going to say something.
Yeah,
Do you remember
that
that
was
bit?
that was turning right to go to join the NDR. So, you know, you're hugging the inside of the roundabout, and then you've got 2 clear lanes to skip across to exit from the left lane. And we were quite slow moving off. So by the time we'd got to exit number 2 of 3, the tipper truck had already moved out. So yeah, just at the last, I mentioned it. I was waiting for her to see it, and it just wasn't coming. And I said it, but Brad had said, you know, I was getting close to having to intervene there, and that would have been curtains for the test at that point if he'd had to have said something. But yeah, left it too late.
So that was it. So it was very good that you said it. And so that was a bit of a learning point for me. Because you know, you don't want to over instruct, but if you've got danger, imminent danger, like a motorbike sneaking up, just are you aware of the motorbike on our left? No. Oh, because it's like when you know, how does someone in the back know you're aware of that? Because they're thinking, oh my God, are you aware? So, and then you said it, and he wouldn't. He was like, "Thank God you've seen it." I don't. He said, "Then I didn't need to worry anymore." So, and that's those moments, isn't it, where that's just something that's getting into the risk. You know,
Yeah.
it's very go wrong very quickly, and yeah, that was praise for you. He was saying like, you know, yeah, I nearly, but you then are on it. You know, was she aware of it? And I don't know if she was aware of it, but he was, and that's the main thing. And yeah, and then I guess I don't know if you talked to her about it or whatever,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
so then
Did you
she
see it?
understands.
Yeah. Oh, it's all coming back to me now. So there was another thing that I dropped the ball on, and that was where there was a pedestrian waiting to cross at the double mini roundabout. And Aya had stopped and said, "Oh, I'll be kind and let her go."
That's it.
Yeah, and I wasn't on it saying, "Well, hold on. Is it kind, or is that what you're expected to do? Think about the highway code rule," you know, and I didn't. Was too busy trying to get to do a right and a left, one on top of the other. But yeah, I could have come back to that later and just cleared up, you
The
know, not
priority.
being kind. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, priorities and highway code. But yeah, I mean, the feedback, much as I was hanging out at that point and struggling to take it all in, very thorough. It was like he recapped virtually the entire test. It was, yeah, really, really comprehensive. And you can see exactly where those points have been either dropped or picked up. So yeah, really, really, really good. Yeah.
Yeah, he liked the lesson. He said it worked, and he said he liked how you helped with the exits on the roundabout count. He said that was very effective and was working, wasn't it? So, and yeah, learning did take place. He said, can't argue with that. You know, she's learned there today that you've kept it safe. It was the right lesson for the pupil.
And
Yeah.
that's really what it does boil down to. This whole checking off the 17 competencies, I think, can be overthought a little bit. It's exactly what you said. Was it the right lesson? Was it safe? And did learning take place? Have you provided value for money? If you've covered that, I don't think they can really fail you unless there's something
Absolutely.
safety critical, you
That
know.
that's what examiners are. When Bradley went through his training, he shared that with me. He's obviously just been through it for part threes and standards checks, and he said they're the 3 questions. As soon as that ended, I've asked myself those 3 questions. If it's a yes, and I can justify it as yes, then that is a pass. And then it's whether it's a grade A or not. You know,
Mm.
so so yeah, and the little things that we mentioned there today with the pedestrian and the cutting the apron strings sooner. Give her that just towards the end because she
I
was
mean, that's
getting it.
adapting. I can't
A
believe
little
I.
bit of responsibility.
Yeah.
So and that would have pushed your score. Then he was sort of saying, you do these things, you're getting 51. And that's where his feedback's very good because he's saying you do all the things I've just said, then you'll get 51. And he said he fully expects you to go back there and get an A when you do your standards check, didn't he?
No pressure.
Well, you'll just be better by the time you go back. So you will be, no doubt. You will be a grade A.
Just as an aside, and this is nothing to do with the result you would get. I was complimented on how clean my car was. He'd actually said, I've been in 2 or 3 cars already this week that have been absolutely filthy. And I think he was talking about the inside. I mean, it's hard at this time of year, isn't it? It is hard. I'm a bit of a clean freak, so I'm out there doing it 3 times a week, like a fool in the dark with a head torch on. But yeah, I thought, well, a good impression doesn't hurt, does it? It must be a bit of a relief to think, oh, at least it's a bit tidy in here. So yeah, clean your cars.
Yeah, exactly. So have you got anything you'd like to add to help anyone in your shoes about to go in or starting the whole process? Any final words of wisdom?
I mean, for starting out, I guess, just stay clear of the nationals, I guess. Much as they've got everything behind them in terms of marketing and making it look very attractive, you can earn this and all the rest of it, I just don't believe that they're that interested really in you as an individual, whereas it's been the complete opposite with how to drive. You're there, you can't be there at the drop of a hat. Everyone should understand that, but the support is there, the training is second to none, and if you just work, don't overdo it. But put the work in, you'll be rewarded for it. And yeah, maybe just go in with it thinking all I got to do is deliver a good lesson. That's it really. So maybe not overthinking it, but know your subject, I guess, all the technical stuff. Yeah, it's important. You don't want to get caught out.
Yeah. I mean, people do give incorrect advice, and they'll be pulled up on it. They won't necessarily fail unless it's completely like they've told them to just break the law. But yeah, because we're always learning, aren't we? So
well, there's nothing wrong with saying I don't know the answer to that. Why don't we look into that when we get back? Then
yeah,
you both
but yeah, having a good foundation knowledge is really key, isn't it? Because otherwise it's going to be telling them a load of rubbish.
No one wants that, do they?
Yes. Okay, Kelly. So thank you very much.
Pleasure.
I'm sure seeing you, having just done it, it's really going to help other people. And thanks for being so kind and believing us to help you.
I couldn't have done it without you, honestly. I would have probably jacked it in if you hadn't taken me back in September. Yeah,
Well,
no.
that would have been a huge loss to the industry. We need people like you, professionals. So yeah.
Well, good
Thanks.
luck, everyone. And I don't know honestly how I managed it first time, but you do get 3 goes, and I think that was a bit of a light bulb moment for me when it came to trying to relax a bit. It's like, well, don't panic. It's not the be all and end all. You'll get another 2 goes, and it's just a learning experience, isn't it? It's not a fail. It's like, what can I do better next time, kind of thing. It's just the waiting, isn't it? That's the worst thing.
Yeah.
It takes too long. But yeah, so yeah, good luck, everyone.
Brilliant. Thank you very much.